Employment placement testing. Here I want to say that government agencies such as county agencies, city agencies, school districts, law enforcement, and military use employment testing prior to hiring. For example, when these agencies test during the hiring process, during the promotional process, and during the transfer process. Private sector jobs such as banks, retail stores, insurance agencies, rating agencies, and etc. These agencies, these firms test at the hiring process as well. Some in promotional situations, some in situations where employees are going to be certified, and many times in situations when the firm is being reorganized. The type of tests that they carry out would be a psychological test, behavioral test, subject task expertise, technological application test, basic comprehension skills, background check test, analyzing past performance, and observations. Psychological questions, they'll ask them, needless to say, I'm not a psychologist. It's just in short, psychological questions. Behavioral, the same I want to say about that. Subject task expertise, will be related to the specific tasks that they carry out and that they would be carrying out. Technological application tests would be like actual softwares that they would be using and seeing how and if they could use it, like Microsoft Word, Excel, etc. In review of literature, I found that research shows that government agencies use tests prior to hiring employees. I also found that they use these tests to identify skill sets. I also find that research shows that using tests to identify skill sets will help in the employee satisfaction. Research also shows that employees that are satisfied at their job site tend to perform better. In short, research supports that testing employees either prior and or during employment is good for employee and firm, companies, and government tests to safeguard their investment, because an employee is the ultimate investment. That is why you should test. And according to literature, obviously it is beneficial to carry out these tests for the employee and the firm. In actual test and observation, I want to use an example of JP Morgan Chase. In this case, 500 employees were tested. The reason was reorganization. I observed this at JP Morgan, as I mentioned. Basic comprehension questions such as reading, writing, mathematics, and problem solving was the beginning of the test. From there, we went on to subject matter expertise, and beyond that, also basic job understanding, and of course, technological application tests such as Microsoft Word, Excel, Axis, Publisher, and so on. The test results, out of those tests, the top 20% performers got placed in servicing the private client portfolio, which required a higher skill set and ability, and it was a much better paying job as well. The bottom 80% performers got placed in servicing general banking products, and some employees simply did not fit and were let go. In this case, the testing was successful. For the ones that were let go, not successful, obviously, but ultimately for what the firm was seeking, they were able to reorganize in a successful way. So it was successful. I also conducted a survey. The purpose of the survey was to support, to see if testing is a good idea or not. The purpose of the survey was to determine if test takers would be honest when taking the test at work. Also, if test takers would put effort into tests at work. The survey I send out to people, business professionals around my community and business professionals outside my community. Here, take a moment to see the actual survey. The results from the survey support that the outcome of the test would be an honest representation. In other words, since the majority of the group surveyed say that they would take the test seriously and that they would try seriously on the test and that they would trust the results from the test signals, that they would be honest, and that the test would be a true representation of their abilities. So in short, the test would work. The test suggests that the results from the survey suggest that testing employees from either hiring and or employment placement is a good idea.
I also conducted interviews. I conducted many interviews. The questions were the same as the surveys for the most part. In the actual research paper, you will see examples of the survey questions and answers. In the meantime, please see below. Please see the following 2 slides. Here you will see one example of Marita Lara's interview. Please take a moment to look at the interview questions and answers. Now take a look at Ricardo Vasquez's interview. Take a moment to look at the questions and the answers. Now, as a summary result of the interviews, after conducting interviews, it is my observation that individuals would take the test seriously. They would answer the questions honestly. They would also give an honest effort when answering. In short, the surveys also support that testing employees when hiring and or for employment placement, it is a good idea. For this first skit example, you will see the untested employee. Please excuse my example of my dog as the untested employee. I am the only person in my group, so my dog is the prop I have to work with. I mean no offense by my dog being the untested employee. Please excuse the use of the dog as the untested employee. I hope you can understand I am the only group member of my group. Please take a moment and see the video.
Hello, in this example, I will be the customer, and my little dog, Lola, will be the employee that is not tested. As I enter, I say, "Hello." The employee says, I then ask, where can I find the toothpaste for whitening? The employee says, ultimately, the employee cannot help me find the toothpaste with whitening. So then I move on to ask, where can I find the toy section? The employee says the following. As you notice, the employee has been asked 2 questions, and there is no answer to the questions. You may have also noticed there is a blob next to the employee. It is a spill in the aisle. And as you notice throughout this interaction, the employee that was not tested cannot answer my questions and was not able to pick up the blob. Meaning the employee is not very useful, does not know the directions on how to orientate the customer, and cannot even carry out the basic of cleaning up a spill. Okay, this will conclude my example of the untested employee. Hello, in this example, on the next example, you will see an example of the tested employee. Please take a moment and see the example. In this case, I will be the tested employee. I will be greeting a customer. I will also be asking the customer how I can help them. You will not be able to hear the customer's response. However, I will tell you what the responses are. The customer is going to ask where they can find the toothpaste with whitening. I will tell them where. I will ask them if there's anything else I can help them. They'll ask for the toys section. I will tell them where the toys section is. Lastly, as I'm telling them where the toys section is, after I tell them where the toy section is, I will ask them if there's anything else I can help them with, and then they will ask me if I can point them towards the direction of the exit of the store. I will be happy to do that. Okay, here we go. Hello, how are you today? My name is Jesus. Is there anything that I can do to assist you today? Oh, you can locate the toothpaste with whitening on aisle 8 at the bottom right section. Let me know if you need me to show you where that is. I'll be happy to do so. Is there anything else I can do to help you? Oh, yeah, you can look. The toys are located towards the end of the store on aisle 14. Let me know if you want me to go ahead and show you where they are. I'll be happy to do so. Is there anything else that I can help you with? Oh, the exit is located at the southwest corner from where we're located. Thank you. Have a good night. In conclusion, after all the research, I concluded that comprehensive tests and psychological tests are actually useful tools for identifying skill sets and employment placement. I say this because after using surveys to conclude that people take the test, I say this because after conducting surveys, I conclude that people take tests seriously and actually put effort into them. And reading that people trust the results, and also observing and listening from third-party testimonials, I conclude via each different venue that using comprehensive tests and psychological tests to identify skills and also employee placement is an efficient approach and could arrive to positive and efficient results. It is a good idea to test employees prior to hiring and for employment placement in order to safeguard your investment. As it is, an employee is an investment, and if you are going to make a decision on hiring someone, you want to make sure that you do hire the right individual. At this moment, I want to go ahead and open it up for questions, and thank you for your time. This is just the works cited. Thank you.